Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. This is for our book club. This is the first time I've done a live stream here from my computer. So I hope that you can see and hear me okay. I'm Shannon Galladay, and we are talking about our coffee self talk book by Kristen Helmstetter. So if you're watching live, please go ahead and post in the comments, say hello. I'd love to say hello. And I would love to have some interaction as well. So even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and post in the comments as we're going along. So the first section, if you missed the first section of our book club, we talked about pages 1 through 58. And then this week we talked about pages 58 through 116. And so I'm really excited to talk about this. There were a lot of aha moments for me, and I hope that you had the same thing as well. And so we're going to get started. You can grab your notebook, grab a pen, grab a paper, and we're going to go ahead and dive right in. And so the first thing I love that they talked about was rewiring your brain. So, a lot of times our brains are wired a certain way. So we are telling ourselves certain things, we are believing certain things, and when we have our brains wired that way, then we are not able to succeed. We are not able to go forward. And so we have to really rewire our brains for success. And so the more she talks about, the more good things you say and think, the more your brain changes to support those things. So repetition is powerful. So if whatever we are believing on a regular basis, that's what we're going to believe. It's going to be ingrained in us, right? And so, just like exercise, I love exercising. Whatever we repeat, we get better at. So, if we're telling ourselves negative thoughts, like we're saying, I'll never get in shape, or, growing a business is hard, or earning money is hard, or I'm such a bad mom, or whatever we're saying, we're going to get better at what we are believing. So, we've got to switch those thoughts. We've got to change that mindset, and we've got to have those positive beliefs. Um, Okay, so before I dive in, I would love for you to book a call with me. I'm offering a complimentary life coach call. So I recently completed my life coach certification, and I'm offering free life coaching calls to help you. So if your goal is here and you're feeling stuck, like, oh, I can't do it. All these things are coming up for you for reaching your goal, then I'm here to blast past all of those things that are in your way and help you reach your goal. So I'll put a link in the comments in the description of this video so you can check that out. So go ahead and click on the link and book your call. And I'm excited to talk to you and to learn more about you. Okay, so the mind is everything. This is a quote from Buddha. The mind is everything. What you think, what you become. So we're asking ourselves, what thoughts are you saying? So on page 65, if you want to turn to the book and go to page 65 and 66. So 65 and 66, it says, so, what thoughts are you saying to yourself? And I love how in the book it gives you those prompts. So, what are you telling yourself? These are some things that I'm working on saying, I am confident, I am calm, I am letting go of what people say, I am kind, I am healthy and strong, I'm fueling my body with healthy foods, I'm speaking to myself kindly, I'm focusing forward, I'm becoming better, I'm beautiful, I'm maintaining a healthy weight. So, what thoughts do you want to say, and what are you saying to yourself? So, there you go. Page 66 gives you some ideas. Okay, so we can change our life with our thoughts. So, on page 68, she talks about two different rules, and I thought these were really helpful. So, number one, write in the first person. So, you're saying, this is an example that she has. I feel generous with my success and eager to share it with others. So you're saying it in that first person. And number two is you're writing in the present tense. So you're saying it as if it's happening now, not as if it's happening in the future, but it's happening right now, and you're feeling that success. So I would love to hear from you. What do you want? On page 69, she talks about, what do you want? So post in the comments, what are some things that you want to have in your life? Here's some questions. Do you want a better job? Do you want to find love? Do you want to have more confidence? Do you want to heal from a disease or injury? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to have more motivation? Do you want to, get rid of a sugar habit, be funnier, wealthier, happier, more creative? So, what do you want more of in your life? And so you think of like, here's the goal. And what are you telling yourself every single day? Because if you're telling yourself things that do not help you reach that goal, then it's going to stop you from reaching your goal. Okay, so also, what do you want less of? So, some things I want less of, I want less stress, less worry, to be less busy, things like that. And every time you have a doubt come in, you say, "Thanks for stopping by. See you later." And you get rid of those doubts as soon as possible because they're going to come, right? They're automatically going to come, especially if you're working on a goal that you haven't reached. You're going to continuously get those doubts. And those doubts are going to bombard our heads, bombard our brains. And that's why it's so great to connect with like minded people and to have that support that you need. Okay, so say thanks for stopping by and see you later. Page 71 and 72 is an example script. So this is really great. It just gives you an example of some things that you could say, like, I feel uplifted right now because I'm taking care of me. I love life. I love my life because it has direction and meaning. And so just a lot of good ideas of what you could say. And she asks, are you feeling silly? You might be feeling silly like when you're saying it like, okay, this is funny, like I'm saying all these things. And that's normal. So that's normal to feel kind of silly about doing it. But the more you think of your life as being an amazing life, the more you will have an amazing life and the more ideas you will get. So she talks about doing it daily. Doing anything as a habit will help us to make it even stronger, make it even better. Okay, so page 77, I just took out some of the highlights. So here's some pro tips on page 77. She talks about using the word because for more success. And this is something my mentor has encouraged us to do as well. So you say something like, because I know how great exercise makes me feel, then you're going to add that information, affirmation. So even before the because, she says, I have no problem making it to the gym every scheduled day because I know how great exercise makes me feel. So that's so good. When you use the word because, it's a smart way to enhance your self talk. And this is backed up by scientific studies demonstrating its power. So you're saying because, and then you're, adding the reason. And so, something else could be like, because I want to help my family out, I'm growing this business. Because I want to help others, I am doing this, something like that. And tip number two is, does it spark happiness? Does it spark joy? So anything that doesn't spark joy in our lives, we want to get rid of it. We want to get rid of, anything in our home that's not sparking joy. Okay, so those are the tips. And what are some things that you would like to work on? So thinking of what you want to work on, page 82 talks. These are some things I want to work on: sleeping, having better sleep, relaxing more because I tend to get myself too busy, spiritual habits like prayer, scriptures, things like that. Okay, so moving along, chapter 6, we're on page 84. And so, matching your feelings with your thoughts, positive words plus uplifted emotions. I never thought about this before, so I thought this was really helpful when you think of your emotions behind the words. And so you got to really feel it. It can't just be like, I am successful and you don't believe it, right? You're not believing what you're saying. You have to have the feeling, you have to have the emotion behind the word. And so, there's a difference. Like on page 86, she says, I am having, like if you said, I'm having the most amazing day. no words, no feeling. But if you changed it to say, I am having the most amazing day or the most awesome day, I mean, can you feel the difference? Of course you can, because those are the emotions. And so you can look on page 87 and you can choose any of these words, these emotions. So love, awe, inspiration, joy, bliss, generosity, abundance, limitless, courage, confidence, gratitude, excitement, happiness, peace. The list goes on and on. So, as you go along, page 88 talks about infusing any of these words. And I highlighted some words that I thought were important to me personally. And so, but you can amp up the energy with uplifted feelings to turbocharge your coffee self talk. And so, sorry, I'm getting a message. Okay. So, acknowledge the strength and power within you. So, Ralph Waldo Emerson says, a person is what he or she thinks about all day long. That's so powerful. And just doing this book club with all of you, it's really made me more aware. And I'd love to hear from you in the chat, how it's changed your mindset. It's amazing like how we get these thoughts in our mind and we don't even realize. We get in these thoughts like, I'm so busy, I'm so tired, I can't reach these goals, I can't make any money, like all of those things. And we'll talk about that in a second. Like wimpy thoughts can kill our success, can crush our goals from happening, right? Can make it so prevent our goals from happening. And so thinking of yourself as who you want to be and where you want to go. This is my vision board. That's why I wanted to do this video over here. I love doing vision boards. Every year I do a vision board of, who I want to become. I want to, be fun, have unplugged weekends, helping a certain amount of people and, you know, just personal goals, but putting that's something else they talk about is putting images to your goals. And so it just makes you feel inspired. It makes you feel excited about what you're working towards. So, what are some images that make you feel emotionally expansive? So, some for me were, the lake, the mountains, sunsets, sunrises, nature. And what are some things that make you feel joy, love, or awe? Some for me are exercise. I love serving others. I love hiking, traveling. So thinking about that. All right. So chapter 7, moving along, make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah, talking about words to trigger higher emotions. So we talked about that a little bit. But when you say just the way you're saying things with the emotion will trigger a higher version of you and really pull out the best version of you. Okay, so page 95, I thought this was a really good one because most of us, including me, like struggle with the topic of money, right? So most of us say like, we don't have enough money. Money is so hard to make. We're struggling with money, we're in debt or things like that. But whatever we believe is true. And so whatever we put more belief into, that's what we get more of. And so if we don't want to be, having money troubles, we've got to get rid of those mindset. We've got to get rid of those words, get rid of those thoughts, get rid of that mindset and thinking like money is easy to get. Money loves me. She talks about money loves me. Um, but changing that thought on if there's something that you want, but you're having a thought towards what you don't want, and you're putting more energy and power into what you don't want, then you'll get more of it. And so we've got to be careful on that. So, whatever we believe is true, and making sure we're believing things that are empowering and where we want to go. I know, especially the last several years during COVID, a lot of us, it's been harder to set goals. It's been harder to like dream and think like more in this positive realm. And so you're not alone if you felt, more stuck in your thoughts. And so, but we can change that. We can improve our thoughts and elevate our life and work towards the goals that we want to. Okay, so chapter 8, she talks a lot about images, like I mentioned. So we have images and um, images, emojis, fonts, underline, italic, bold, different things to really make things pop out for us. So that when we're looking at our affirmations, they're really exciting for us, and we're having that emotion, we're having that energy behind it. And also, when you are saying your emotions, you don't want to just think them. You want to say them out loud. And I think sometimes it's hard to say them. Like some that I wrote on page 105, I wrote, I approve of myself. Money is easy to get. Money loves me. I don't finish a negative thought or statement. Um, anyway, just some things. What are some self-talk that things that you want to say? And then get that energy behind it, get that emotion behind it, really put some emphasis in it. And the more we say it, the more we will begin to believe it. Okay. And so also our environment matters. She talked about different ways we can improve our environment. Like you can go outside, you can see the blue sky, you can see the sunshine, you can be in nature. But being in a good environment makes a huge difference on our self talk, on the words that we're using. So, thinking about your environment, if you're like in a dark place that's not very inspiring, we can change our environment. I know I had a friend years ago, and she was really depressed, and I remember going into her house, and all of her blinds were closed. It was really dark, and so I'm like, of course, you're feeling depressed because it's so dark in here. Like the environment was so dark and sad. And so we opened up the windows and added the light to come in, and it just changed the whole environment. Oh, I love the comments. Thank you, Loretta. Looks like Loretta. Yeah. So she says, it's the same as reading a book out loud, it has a different feel. So yeah, saying things out loud. I agree. Like reading a book versus saying a book out loud makes a huge difference. Okay, page 104. No wimpy thoughts. This was a game changer. If we're thinking we can't do something, then we are right, right? Our brains, we find evidence for the truth. And so if we believe something, if we're like she used the example of being a writer, and so you say, if you say, I'm a terrible writer, I can't write a book, like you won't write a book, right? Or if we say, like, I could never run a 5K, or I could never, I could never be out of debt, I could never run a business, whatever we say, that will become true because we will find evidence, and our brains will look for evidence for it to be true. So, for example, like with writing, we could say, like, oh, I am a terrible writer, and because so and so said this mean thing. Like that would be the evidence to show that it's not true. Or, for example, like if you've tried to get in shape in the past and it hasn't worked out, we'll look for all the reasons of why it's true. And so then we will believe that and we'll hold on to that wimpy thought. And I mean, how sad is that? That we will believe things that will hold us back from accomplishing those goals in our life. And so changing those wimpy thoughts. I asked, you in the book club through text message this week, and I loved hearing your responses. So thank you to everyone who shared them. Go ahead and post in the comments if you've thought of something else. But what are some wimpy thoughts that you've had, and that have maybe held you back from reaching your goals? You could write some of those out, and you can flip them. If like using this writing example, if you say, I could never write a book, then we can switch it. And she says, of course I can write a fantasy. She's going to write a fantasy book. And so thinking of ways to look at our wimpy thoughts, acknowledge the wimpy thoughts, and flip them to stronger thoughts. So we can say, yes, we can absolutely do this. Okay, so we're almost to the end. So at the end, she talks about power poses. So if you've seen the Wonder Woman, hands on your hips, chin up, and when we're saying our positive self-talk, standing tall, standing good or sitting in good posture, if we're slumping over like this, we won't feel as empowered. We won't have that strong emotion behind the words that we're sharing. And so making sure to be careful not to slouch, not to because that kind of puts us in more of a, oh, this is not going to happen. But we put our shoulders up, chin up, smile. I mean, it just automatically, your posture changes your belief. It changes your outlook when you're sharing. Um, okay, and so we talked about using images, things like that, emojis, underlining, saying it out loud, the energy behind it, and also adding music behind it. So one thing I've done recently is there is an app called the Think Up app, and I love this app because when I first started saying affirmations this year, my mentor, said we need to say these affirmations every day, and so I recorded the affirmations in the app. You could also record your voice, like if you wanted to do it on a video like this, you could record yourself saying it, and then every morning, almost every morning, I try to listen to that. So I listen to myself, and then my goal is to listen to it and say it out loud. And so that's an idea for you is you could record yourself saying it and then you can listen to it. So first thing in the morning, because I know it's so easy to get in our head to, even stop us from being successful right away because we're automatically having these bad thoughts in our mind. And so first thing in the morning, don't look at the news, don't look at social media. Focus on your goals, focus on those positive affirmations, and your whole day will change. It's pretty incredible. So that's it for our video number 2. We went through pages 58 to 116. And so we're halfway through the book club. And so we'll have one more video just like this. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here live, Loretta. And thanks for being here if you're watching the replay. So we'll have one more video just like this. And then the last time where we meet together, so we have about, I don't want to say 20 people in the book club right now. And I would love to do a Zoom call with everyone together. I know we are from all different states and all different places, but I would love to get everyone together. So I'll be sending a survey, just a short questionnaire to ask you when you're available so that we could all meet together on a Zoom call, probably about this long, 20 to 25 minutes, where we can share our biggest takeaways and the last section of the book, and encourage each other and help each other. And then I will be doing another book next month. This is something I want to continue to do. And so I'll give you some suggestions and ask for recommendations as well. But I love reading books. I love improving my thoughts, my mindset. It's incredible how your life will change. So I hope that was helpful for you. And I'm so excited to hear in the comments. Go ahead and post in the comments any thoughts that come up as you're listening to this or as you're reading the book. I'm excited to hear from you. So have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.